Number 13. The first term in a sequence is 8. Consecutive terms in the sequence have a common difference. The fourth term in the sequence is 17. Select the function f of n that represents the sequence for n is greater than or equal to 1. Now, first thing I'm going to do is look through my choices, and if you notice, all of them say f of 1 equals 8. So if you recall, f of 1 comes from the first term. So the first term in a sequence is 8. So all four of them have the first term being 8, so that means I can't eliminate any choices at the moment. The next thing we know is that consecutive terms in the sequence have a common difference. When it talks about a common difference, that means we're either adding or subtracting a number from every term. So that's going to help me eliminate some of my choices here, because if you look at A, it says that for every term after 1, you're going to take f of n and subtract 3 from it. So what that means is you would take the first term 8 and subtract 3 to get the next term. Here on B, you would take 8, f of 1 is 8, and add 3. Here you would do 9/4 times f of n, so 9/4 times the first term is 8. And this would be 17 over 8 times our first term. Okay, so that's going to knock out C and D because these are multiplication. Multiplication is not a common difference, it is a common ratio. So C and D are not answers to this problem. Now, A and B are possible answers because A says that we're going to subtract 3 from each preceding term, and letter B says we're going to add 3. So adding and subtracting are common differences. So the next thing we need to know is a term. So they tell us that the fourth term in a sequence is 17. So right now we have our first term is 8, and our fourth term is 17. So we're clearly increasing to get to the next term. So that's going to more or less knock out A as a solution, but let's check to make sure. We have our second term here, and we have our third term here. So if I add 3, that's going to give me 11. If I add 3 again, that's going to give me 14. And if I add 3 to get to the next term, that's going to give me 17. So B is the correct answer. Now this one was fairly simple to eliminate wrong answers because you had subtracting 3 and 2 multiplying, but what if they had given you 2 adding? What would you do then? Well, you could have thought of these two as points. The first and the 8th is a point, 1/8. Okay, the fourth term is 17, 4 being the x, 17 being the f of x in this case. So knowing 2 points, you could have found the common difference, which is just the same thing as finding the slope. So if you remember, finding slope is going to be the change in y over the change in x. So in this case, it would be 17 minus 8 over 4 minus 1, which would have given you 9 over 3, which equals 3. So that would be another way to find the common difference if the answer wasn't obvious.